Dear God. I hear that you two are going out now. Although probably with a little less authority. Thank God it's Akira. Oh my eye! I glanced sideways at Lilly to confirm her as the source of Akira's knowledge. I knew it. She gives a gentle nod to Akira, which I mirror in affirmation. Deciding that this is the proper time and place to do so, and Akira being the closest figure to a parent Lily's had for much of her life, I bowed deeply with my hands on the floor before me and my head very nearly the same. I get a feeling you're going to apologize. No, you're not. I'll take good care of your sister, Akira, I promise you. See? He's a lovely young gentleman. She must have heard my voice coming from a lower position than usual. Oh God. I slowly bring myself back up, my eyes tentatively looking to Akira from under my brow. To tell the truth, I very much doubt my suited judge will raise any objections. She's very definitely the type to make her disapproval with others well known, something that lends her a measure of respect in my eyes. The old-fashioned kind, huh? Well, he's the kind of person I guess you'd go for. I don't have a problem with it, and I wish you to the best, even if I don't like it. I couldn't really do anything anyway. I offer a nod of appreciation to her as Lilly gives a small sigh of relief, likely more out of duty than any actual belief. Akira might have had any problems with us being together. I do wonder though, how's the rest of the family taking it? Particularly the part residing at Yamaku. Have you told her? Oh God, I didn't notice that face. Told who? What's going on? Smiles turn to grimaces as Akira grins downright heavily. Those closest know how to twist the knife best, after all. Putting up with it may be the best term for the situation. Don't you agree, Hisao? Oh, are we on about Hanako? Yeah, that sounds about right. At least she's been reasonable about it. Yes! I'm back on track. Good to hear. That girl can be a handful at best at times. That's horrible. We sent a few messages back and forth during and just after the trip, and she was already busting my chops for seeing my boyfriend when we came back after leaving Hideki for so long. I butchered that! I'm gonna read that again! We sent a few messages back and forth during and just after the trip, and she was already busting my chops for seeing my boyfriend when we came back after leaving Hideki for so long. She really does care for the little guy. I have no idea. I have no idea. All I got was boyfriend, Hideki, and leaving alone. I cast my mind back to Tsune's odd reaction after telling her about our relationship, but decide not to bring it up. It's no doubt simply born of their mutual antipathy, and Akira's comments only back that up. Well then, that's held. Gotta get to work early tomorrow, so I'd better be off. Bye-bye. She rises from the table with a grunt, her hand on her knee to push herself up. My God, I just noticed Akira's eyes lingering on Lilly for a couple of seconds before turning away as she begins to take her leave. Bye-bye. After she walks out the door, she stops and looks up thoughtfully before turning to us one last time. Oh yeah, I almost forgot to tell you. Use protection every time. They didn't! There was no mention of it! Oh God! I gag violently on the tea in my mouth. Contrary to my own, Lily's composure holds perfectly as she seems entirely unfazed. I'm kind of impressed. We are. Don't worry. We are? Atta girl. See yas. Are you the one? And with that, she turns and strides out of the door, a hand held high as she disappears into the darkened hallway, closing the door behind her. The most reaction I can muster is flopping forward onto the table, completely drained of energy and truly exhausted by her. Lilly's ability to hold her own against us, that suited devil, is something I admire. The red eyes were in the giveaway. She really is incredibly blunt. I don't think I'll ever be able to keep up with your sister's energy. As I feel Lilly's soft hand coming to rest on my own, I roll my head to the side to see her gently smiling. For a long time we simply sit beside each other silently. Given her unquestionably, oh my god, contrary and unquestionably unusual height, she is pretty much exactly as tall as I am. Probably a couple of centimeters higher, if anything. Like this, she appears even taller. The feeling of her pale, soft hand against mine is a pleasant one, as is the sight of the thin silken pyjamas she wears, showing her curves and collarbone. You do get on well, though, even if you do say that. I guess. You know, you two are more alike than I first thought when I met you. And it's a good thing I quickly stopped you from going after her, isn't it? Oh, we're back. Oh, I remember that comment well. Though she jokes about it, my assessment of my inability to keep up with Akira, either physically or mentally, was quite in earnest. Lily's slow-paced and ladylike, almost motherly nature is perhaps the single thing that helped me most in my first weeks at Yamaku. Come to think of it, finally you're going to ask the question? Wait, since when were we using protection? Oh god, I get the feeling she wasn't either. As I give a curious look to my side, Lily's cheeks puff out as she huffs at me. I hope that's one for oh god, I keep forgetting sayings! Unlike you, I remembered. The packet is in the cupboard next to the sink, thank god. So I'm not the only one of us that takes a pill. In hindsight, I feel rather thoughtless for not remembering at all and leaving it to Lilly. Well, the bath one wasn't really your fault. The first one, well then again, you wouldn't really think that when she's offering herself. It's not your fault at all, Hisao. Looking over to the cupboard, she mentions the Lenny, and I'm probably gonna get bollocks for that. I notice again the knee-high piles of book. What? I notice again the knee-high piles of books around us that were here the other times I'd visited. For the most part, they're lined up against a wall to give a little more room around the table. Yay. Why don't you get a bookshelf for your books? It's hard to see books just piled around, especially given that your room looks so neat and orderly otherwise. They're easier to find this way. I know exactly which pile each book is in. Pile is going to sound odd. Wouldn't you still know that after putting each set on a different shelf? True. That may be, but... Oh god, we're stepping on landmines. So she's not immune to bouts of laziness after all. We didn't step on a landmine. You have so many of them. It's kind of a shame we can't share our book sets, despite both of us reading so much. That's odd. She gives a short giggle. Come to think of it, why do you order your books through Yuko? I imagine there'd be plenty of sites that you could order books in Braille from, especially in English Braille. There are a lot of text-to-speech programs too. She turns her head slightly away from me, which strikes me, oh my god, as somewhat surprising. I'm just not at all good with computers. I'm alright with typewriters and braillers, but that's about it. Her tone almost makes me chuckle. She's a prideful person, so admitting something like that must be difficult. So Lily's the low-tech kind of person. Given her old-fashioned personality, it's not really a stunning surprise. I wouldn't worry about it. A lot of people aren't really that good with them, so it's not that unusual. That unusual. Oh god, now we set on a landmine, I think. Now she's even more depressed. It feels like I'm twisting the knife rather than healing the wounds. Oh god, what have we done? With a bit of squirming, I shuffle my way closer to her, tentatively putting one hand around her waist to hug her. I'm still not really used to this kind of physical affection, but Lily seems to like it. Oh god. Oh, right, okay. Lily smiles as she turns to face me. A kiss being the reward for giving in to her. She draws me in, brushing my upper lip with hers before pressing against both. This way, every one of my senses is filled with her. Don't drag it up the gutter. The barely perceptible scent of her hair, her taste as her tongue fleetingly touches mine, the tenderness of her lips, the image of her filling my mind, the total silence apart from her faint breath. No, I'm not going to ruin that song. We may have kissed before, but even if this is more a kiss of simple affection than anything, it's still a new pleasant sensation, oh god. Judging from her vivid blush, that smile, as she pulls back, it's obvious she feels the same way as I do. Even if we're entirely alone, it feels like a little embarrassing to open up to each other this much. Oh, a kiss is so embarrassing, but anything else, no, that's perfectly natural. Oh. Sorry about that. If we take everything day by day, I think that would be best. Small steps, right? Oh god, this girl is lovely. She has my views, although not as cynical. Yeah, just small steps. We have plenty of time to be together, even after the school year is over. As long as we move together, I think everything will work out. Neither of us is going anywhere soon, after all. For now, I'm just thankful for this small moment in time we can spend together. Is this the good ending? I take that as a no. Okay, it's not ending yet. Oh my god, we're by the nurse's area. I stand unmoving in front of the door to the nurse's office for what feels like at least a dozen minutes or so. Lock scene! It's not like I never entered the small beige room before, nor is it because of any feeling of childlike anxiety over the visit. Maybe it's because the nurse's office is akin to a confessional, an admission that my body is flawed. The knowledge that such a fact is kept entirely confidential between the nurse and I hardly lessen the feeling. You really know how to bring yourself down, don't you? Remembering that the bell to signal the end of lunch break will sound soon, I give a sign and open the door. The burden will stay with me just this while longer. Well now, if it isn't Nakai, good to see you. I'll try to speak like Pegasus. Or bad, I guess, considering that I'm a nurse. Oh god, please don't. He gives a small laugh, amused at his little joke. I find his humour lacking and somewhat off, but the fact that he can make light of such a situation is perhaps comforting, or at least distracting. His brief episode of entertainment over, he claps his hands together and gets down to business. I take a seat as he gestures for me to do so.